Hello, we are in the 6th line of gate 52. Gate 52, the gate of inaction, keeping still mountain. And in the 6th line, we find peacefulness. So the word peace, we find it shows up quite a lot in 6 lines. There's the peacemaker in line 6 of gate 6, and tranquility in line 6 of gate 32. Peacefulness is one of the great longings of all 6 lines. Peacefulness of being able to look out at the whole circuitry and see that the whole circuitry can come to fulfillment. And in seeing it come to fulfillment, there's a great sense of peace that comes with that. In the exaltation, we have a harmonic and balanced attunement that is at ease regardless of the situation. The lack of pressure in times of stillness. The lack of pressure in times of stillness. These people can be so free of pressure when they are still that they will never provide their focus for anything or anyone. Like all 6 lines, they are looking for the capacity for that focus to have the right detail, for that detail to have the right pattern, the pattern to have the right rhythm, the rhythm to have the right role, the role to have the right influence. This is the nature of this logical circuit. They are looking to see if the whole thing is possible. If I focus on the right details, the details come into my life, and then I will be able to fulfill the circuit. Or if the details come into my life and I focus on them, will that make a difference? Because 6 lines do want to make a difference. And so they don't often commit themselves. But this 6 line process, it's a magical place. And something beautiful that the 6th line learns as its potential in life is the magic of this place, this peacefulness. The 6th line, it stays still for quite a long time. And without the right focus, without the energy, without the manifestation or the experimentation that they can have, their life can actually be full of depression rather than peace. But at the same time, they can develop a sense of being able to recognize what is truly correct for them to be focused on. And again, the secret to that is going to be in their design. Through their design, through being themselves and entering properly into their relationship with everything in life, then they're going to be able to find the natural place for them to focus, for them to concentrate. And that's the moment of perfection, because that's the moment there can be no distraction. That's peacefulness. And the 52, in a sense, is always going to be distracted as long as they are not focused on something that is for them. To be able to wait, to be able to sit without distraction and to place attention on just one place. This is peacefulness. And it doesn't mean they're not busy, but they're at peace with themselves. And that's not to say that all 6 lines get to that place. You know, there may be the potential of the 6th line, and it only ever stays as a potential. So much conditioning that is received when they're a child. So they may or may not ever have the chance to fulfill their role. And this is really what it means to just come back to yourself. And we enter into this experiment with human design, and over a period of cycles of 7 years, we decondition so that we can start to live out the lines in the way that they're meant to be lived out, through us, through our design, through all of our definition, through all of our experiences. In the detriment, we have a delusion as substitute for genuine tranquility. Where the pacification of the energy is extreme, pressure, real or imagined, does not disturb the stillness. Does it really matter whether the tranquility is genuine or delusional? Is there actually a way to tell the difference? given the positive nature of this position, the delusion may be just as effective as the real thing. And that's something wonderful about these 6 lines. They can be alone and really deluded, but focused in their delusion. And yay, good for them, because this is where they belong. It doesn't matter what's out there. You know, if they can stay happy in that focus of theirs, into the delusion that they're going to solve the greatest mysteries, whatever that happens to be, then who cares? If they're being correct, that's what matters. Whether it's a delusion or the genuine article, it's neither here nor there. Our 6 lines are not really in their time yet, but we are moving into a 6th line time. In 2027, when the global cycle shifts, that's when our 6 lines will probably feel more at peace, more at home in the world, feel like they belong. The 6 lines that you carry in your own design, they resonate to the future. And they resonate to that future that's coming fairly soon now, beyond 2027, February 2027. So this is why we have so many people who have 6 lines who, if they don't feel like they belong here, and they get lost in science fiction books or films and fantasy type things, anything that smacks of the future is going to hook them in. 2nd line people, on the other hand, they are yesterday's people. That theme went out in 1961, and it will be hundreds of years before it comes back again. 2nd lines can get very lost in the past. So when you're looking at any 6th line, it's good to understand that not only is it above and looking out and trying to assess the value of its own process, what the hexagram is itself, but it's also a mutative force that is resonating to our upcoming future. And out of that, it has a sensitivity to the future. The 58 line 6 is called carried away with the peacefulness of keeping still, carried away through the joy of inaction, perhaps. Is there a grounding through being carried away? How would you translate this relationship between the earth and the sun here? So the moon is still in gate 21, the gate with the need to control its material environment, well, not just its material environment necessarily, and moves into gate 51 at 11:34. This is thunder over thunder, the arousing, the gate of shock, still in the ego center, with the ability to respond to disorder and shock through recognition and adaptation. This gate is designed to withstand shock through the power of their will and their brave heart. Neptune in gate 25, of course, gives us the channel of initiation. This is a design of needing to be first between the 25 and the 51. And that needing to be first can sometimes be a bit misunderstood because it's not all about being competitive. You know, that's a part of it, absolutely. But it's also about being original. You know, that sort of being first to do something in a sense. So how does that resonate with you? You might only ever have heard about it being first in the competitive sense, but it's about being the first to do something in that originality setting or context. And moves into gate 42, the moon into 42 at 21:10. And this is the sacral gate of increase, the gate of growth, the expansion of the resources which maximizes the development of full potential. It's the gate of endings, and there can be a real pressure here to finish all sorts of things that have been started. And if what has been started was entered into correctly, then the energy to see it through to completion will be there. And it's always best to wait for experiences to reach their natural conclusion rather than trying to force a premature ending. We don't want to get stuck in a cycle, after all. And then we have another sacral gate, gate 3 at 6:47. This is difficulty at the beginning, the gate of ordering, where the fundamental challenge of initiation is to transcend confusion and establish order. And Pluto is in gate 60 at the moment, so we have the channel of mutation, a channel that can bring radical changes into the world, but not constantly. It's unpredictable. This is an individual pulse energy. It's a format channel that brings its mutative energy to the whole body graph. Venus moves into gate 53 at 1448. This will bring the channel of maturation for a short time because the moon is transiting through 42. This is the channel of beginnings and middles and endings, that cycle of life. So gate 53 is the gate of beginnings, and Venus brings us the qualities of love and beauty and personal values. So do you value the opportunity for new beginnings? Do you notice when these opportunities come around? Some might suggest that every breath is a new beginning, given that an exhalation is the last thing that we do in this life, and this gate, this channel, is all about the cycles of life. That's me done for this particular gate, 52.6. Yeah, thank you very much for joining me as always, and I appreciate your company. And I'm thrilled at how many people watch these transit reports and the comments that I get. I'm very grateful to have you with me on this journey. And yeah, it's quite an amazing unfolding, really. So until next time, go gently, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.